This conference will now be recorded.
So in the previous session, we have discussed about the fields, and we have discussed what exactly a field and what is the use, what are the various types of fields are available in Salesforce, and how can we view the fields available inside the object, what are the various ways has been given by Salesforce. We have discussed. Now today we'll see creating the custom. How to create the field inside the object, we'll see that. We'll see how can we create the field inside the object. Creating the field inside the object means what? Creating a column inside the table. Field means column. Object means table. So creating a field means creating a column inside the table. So now in this case, how to create the fields inside the object, we will see practically now. Like for example, assume that I have created an object. I have created an object with the name some customer. Whenever I'm creating an object with the name customer, what it will do internally, Salesforce is going to be creating a table. So what is the table name? Table name is customer underscore underscore C. Because to indicate that whether this object is a custom or standard, Salesforce is following this notation. Upon creating a custom object, it will be creating a table internally by default. The table name will be postfixing with underscore underscore C. The table name will be postfixing with underscore underscore C. And next, once the table has been getting created, inside this table, it is providing some set of ready-made fields, nothing but ready-made columns. So what fields will be creating by Salesforce by default? Salesforce is preparing 5 fields. The first one, ID field. Second one, name field. Third one, owner field. Fourth one, created by field. And the fifth one, last modified by field. These are the 5 fields will be giving by Salesforce by default inside this object. That means these are the 5 columns will be giving by Salesforce by default. Now, so along with these fields, it is preparing a tab also. It is preparing a tab. That means user interface, graphical user interface. So what is this tab name? Customers. The tab name is customers. And then it is preparing the business logic class also. Business logic class. What is the business logic class name? Customer underscore underscore C. That means whatever the name that we have for the table, with the same name, it is creating a business logic class also. Business logic class name and your table name both will be exactly same, and then it is preparing a tab with the name, the plural format of your object. My object name is customer, and it is preparing the tab with the name customers. Now, so this is the functionality will be happening internally by default. So whenever I'm creating an object, by default, Salesforce is preparing a table. In that table, you will be having this 5 fields are available, and you will be having a tab, and you will be having the business logic class also. So now here in this case, it is going to be creating the 5 fields inside the object. Along with that, it is providing the tab and it is providing the business logic class also, which contains the actual business logic inside this. Now, so in this case, this is the functionality will be happening inside the Salesforce instance whenever I'm creating a custom object inside your Salesforce instance. Now, so upon creating this custom object, it is creating these 5 fields. Now tell me, in order to store the customer details, really these 5 fields are sufficient? No. In order to store my customer details, not only these 5 columns, I want some more columns also. Okay, I want some more columns also. That means what it is preparing is a table over here. The table will be getting prepared by Salesforce. Inside this table, it is preparing these 5 columns. Like as ID column to store the record ID, name column to store that customer name, owner column to store the owner of this customer record. That means which owner has created the record, created by person's information, and the last modified by person's information. These are the columns will be given by Salesforce by default here. So these are the columns will be given by Salesforce by default inside this object. So inside my custom object, customer underscore underscore C, you will be having these are the 5 columns. That means ID column, name column, owner, created by, and the last modified by. Created by and the last modified by. These are the various columns are available inside this. So these are the 5 columns has been given by Salesforce by default. Now, so now in this case, these are the 5 columns has been given by Salesforce by default. But these 5 columns are not sufficient to store my records. I want some more columns. How? Can I add some more columns inside the object here? Yes. How many? Yesterday we have discussed. If it is a free developer edition, in free developer edition, an object can have maximum of 500 custom fields. If it is the unlimited edition, in this unlimited edition, we can able to have maximum of 800 custom fields. So we can have 500 custom fields per an object in the free developer edition, and we can have 800 custom fields per an object in unlimited edition. This the limitation has been given by Salesforce by default. So now in this particular object, okay, these are the 5 fields has been given by Salesforce, but I want some more because I want to store the customer age also. For that one, I need one more column. I want to store the gender of this customer, because he may be male or female. I'd like to store. I want to store the customer's contact number, email ID, address. Like that, I want to store some more details also. For that one, I need to have some more columns inside my object. In my custom object, I would like to have some more columns over here. I want to store the age of this customer. I want to store the gender of this customer. Either he may be male or female. I want to store the phone number of this customer. That means what? In order to store all this information, we need some more columns, right? Yes. We need some more additional columns over here. So we can able to add those columns. How to add the columns inside this particular object? By creating the field. Creating the field means creating a column inside the table. Creating the field means creating a column inside the table. So now in this case, I would like to create a column with the name age. age. Now tell me, upon storing the age, what type of values you would like to store? What type of value you want to store? Numerical or text value?
Numerical.
Number. Numerical. Okay, I would like to store numerical. So in this case, how can we inform to the database table that please store only numerical values inside this age card? Suppose if I'm giving the age value for a customer like some ABC, is it a valid information? No. It should be always a valid information. Always you have to specify the valid information. I have to inform to the database, please don't allow this character values, please allow only the numerical values inside this column. Then how can we inform to the Salesforce here? For that one, we have to indicate a data type. Okay, we have to indicate data type. So upon creating the column, upon creating the field, we have to specify the data type. We have to specify data type. What do you mean by data type? Data type indicates what type of data this column can store. It indicates what type of data, what type of value the column can store. In order to indicate that, we are using this data type. So while creating a column, compulsorily we have to specify the data type. This data type is indicating what type of column this, what type of data this column can hold. So in this case, what exactly the data type? Data type describes what type of data the column can hold. Now, so what are the various data types are available in Salesforce? Whenever we are going to be creating a column, okay, each column should be associated with a data type. That means upon creating a field, upon creating a column inside the object, we have to indicate what type of value this column can store inside this. Will it be storing numerical value? Will it be storing alphanumerical value? Will it be storing like as Boolean values like as true or false? Will it be storing date value? Will it be storing time value? Will it be storing date time value? Will it be storing the email value? Will it be storing phone value or what? What type of values this column can store? In order to indicate that we are using this data type. So upon creating a field, we have to select the data type. Upon creating a field, we have to select the required data type. We require the data type. So what exactly the data type indicates? Data type describes so what type of data at the value the column can hold. What type of data at the value the column can hold. Data type describes what type of data at the value the column can hold. That will be indicated by data types. So Apex provides various types of data types. That means Salesforce is providing various data types to you, which we can able to select upon creating a field. Whenever you are creating a field, we have to select any one of this data type over here. We have to select any one of this data type. Now, so now here in this case, what are the various data types are available? Salesforce provides the below data types. We are having almost 18 to 19 types of data types are available in Salesforce. We are having 18 to 19 types of data types are available. Now, like first one, text type. Second one, text area. Third one, text area long. Fourth one, text area rich. Fifth one, checkbox. Sixth one, currency. Seventh one, date. Eighth one, type. Ninth one, date type. 10th one, number. And the 11th one, we are using URL. 12th one 4, 13th email, 14th hit list, 15th hit list multi-select, 16th tested encrypted, and the 17th auto number. And then we are having that 18th geolocation. Okay, geolocation. Now, so we are having the various types of fields are available. Like we have text type, text area long, text area rich, and then we have checkbox type. We have currency type, and then we have date type, time, date time, number, and the URL, phone, email, pick list, and the pick list multi-select, and the text encrypted, auto number, geolocation. So these are the various types of fields has been given by data types has been given by Salesforce by default. So whenever you are going to be creating a field, that means upon creating a column inside the table, we have to select any one of this data type. Okay, we have to select any one of this data type from this list. So that means upon creating that column, we have to select any one of this data type. Either it may be text type, either it may be text area long, text area rich, or it may be checkbox or currency or date or anything. Depends upon your requirement, depends upon the data value which you are going to store. We have to select this respective data type. Now, so now let me explain each and every data type. What are the various properties are available to them? As part of this data type, what are the various properties are available? Let me explain here each and everything one by one. Text type. Now text data type here. What is the use of this text data type? Text data type is used to store the text value. Text value means alphanumerical value. That means some string values, which will be having some characters, which will be having some numbers, along with some special characters also. So in order to store the alphanumerical values along with the special characters, we are using the help of text data type. Now, so in this case here, text data type will allows us to store the alphanumerical values along with some special characters. Okay, now let me explain. This data type allows us to store the alphanumerical values along with special characters. Along with the special characters, we can able to store alphanumerical values as well. That facility is available as part of this text data type. Now, how many characters it will allow? Whenever we are going to storing these values inside this column, this column will allow us to store maximum of 255 characters. It allows us to store maximum of 255 characters. Suppose upon giving this value, upon entering some data, if you're giving some space, the space is also counting as one character. Space is also counting as one character. So totally it will allow 255 characters of content to be get stored inside this text data type column. Now, in this case, whenever we are creating a field inside this object by selecting the data type, respect to user interface will be getting prepared. Like for example, assume that these are the columns are available inside my object. Okay, these are the columns are available inside my object. For example, these are the columns are available inside my object. So it is having some user interface. Okay, it is having some user interface also. Let me remove this part. So it is preparing the user interface also. Like it is indicating the customer name. It is providing one text box. Owner. It is preparing this text box also automatically. So it is preparing the text boxes. Now, for example, I'm adding a column inside my table over here. That means I'm adding a field inside my object. I'm adding a for this one, I'm giving the column name as I'm giving the column name as designation. What is the designation of this customer? I'm giving the data type as text. Whenever I'm going to be selecting this data type as text, automatically whatever the label that we have given, with this label it is preparing some user interface also. So it is preparing this user interface also automatically. So it is preparing like as a designation. Designation, along with that it is preparing one text box. It is preparing one text box automatically. That means what? Whenever I'm going to be adding a field inside the object, then column will be getting added over here. It is preparing the user interface also. So this user interface we no need to prepare, that will be preparing by Salesforce automatically by default. So now here in this case, whenever I'm going to be creating a column inside this particular database object, then automatically it is going to preparing the visual appearance also. User interface will be getting preparing by Salesforce. We no need to prepare this user interface, that is preparing the Salesforce automatically. So upon creating a field inside the object by using some mouse pointers, it will be adding the column inside the table, and it is preparing the visual appearance also. User interface controls also automatically by default. Now, generally in the other programming languages, we have to design this user interface manually, but in Salesforce, it will do automatically for you. Now, this is one of the major benefits in Salesforce. Now, we no need to prepare this user interface manually, that will be preparing by Salesforce automatically by default. Okay. Now, in this case, what are the various properties are available for this? What are the various properties are available? So as part of these properties, first of all, we are having that field label. Field label. So what do you mean by this field label? Field label is a property which is used to provide the label information to be visible in the user interface. That means what? In this particular user interface, what is the label you want to display along with the text box? Suppose, for example, if I'm displaying simply the text box, then how the user can enter and understand what data do we need to enter? You won't understand. For that one, we have to give some label also over here. So we need to give some label. So to specify this label, we are using a property called as field label. Field label is a property which is used to specify the label name. Label name for the field to be visible on the user interface. To be visible on the user interface. Second one, field name. This will be preparing the Salesforce automatically. Field name is nothing but what? The actual column name. Okay, it will be having the actual column names. It represents the actual column name in the table. Generally, this is the custom field designation. If I'm creating this custom field designation, how the column name will be visible to you? That already you know. Yesterday we have discussed. Each and every custom field name will be postfixing with what? Underscore C. Okay, underscore C. So that here it is indicating that. For example, here I'm indicating like as designation. Here I'm indicating it is preparing the Salesforce automatically over here. For example, it is preparing like as designation underscore C. Okay. Now field label means which will be visibility on the user interface, only for the label, only for the text to be visible on the user interface. And the field name means actual column name. Okay, this is nothing but actual column name inside the table over here. Now, and the next one. The third property is description property. So what is the use of this description property? Description property is used to give some comments in order to give some information about this particular field. In order to give some comments about that field, that means why you are creating the field, what is the purpose of this field here. If you want to give some description, if you want to give some comment, then we can able to use a property called as the description property. Now, so that here, in order to provide, okay, in order to provide some comments or the description information about that field, we are going to be using this description property. Next, the fourth one. Fourth property is help text property. What is the use of this help text property? Help text property is used to indicate some tooltip text. In order to give some help information, online help information to the people, we are using this help text property. Like for example, here, let me show you. When you go to your Salesforce instance, let me go to my object fields, any of the fields. So let me try to create a field here. We'll see the navigation also, just for the sample purpose. Still, it is loading this user interface. Now, so when you verify this one, it is indicating some small online help. This is a small symbol here. When you place the mouse pointer, it is indicating some online help. You see, this is the online help here. This is called as a tooltip text. This is called as tooltip text or online help. Suppose if you don't know what data we need to enter, simply place the mouse pointer on this one. It will be indicating that. So in this case, like the similar way here, if you want to provide any online help for your field, for your column, then we have to use a property called as help text property. Okay, we have to use a property called as help text property over here. Now, this is a help text property. Next one. Next, the fifth property. The fifth property is required checkbox. That means, for example, if you want to make this column mandatory, okay, if you want to make this column mandatory, then we have to make this field as required. So that select that required checkbox. Required checkbox is used to make that field mandatory. Used to make the field mandatory. Now, in this case, in the entry point of view, they will raise a question. They will raise a question. How many ways are available in Salesforce to make a field required? In order to make a column required, how many ways are available in Salesforce? Because whenever you are trying to be creating a record, then whatever the text boxes are there, if the text box is visible along with the red color bar symbol, then that means that is a mandatory column, that is a mandatory field. That is a mandatory field. So in this case, how can we make this a field required? How to make that field mandatory in Salesforce? Now in Salesforce, how many ways are available? Salesforce provides a various ways. How many? 5 ways are available in Salesforce. We have the below 5 ways to make a field required. That means in order to make a field mandatory, we have 5 ways are available in Salesforce. First one is by using the required checkbox. That means upon creating the field, we can select this required checkbox to make that field required, to make that field mandatory. In order to make that field mandatory, we are going to be selecting this checkbox. Second one, by using page layout customizations. Second one, by using page layout customization also, we can able to make the field required. Third one, by using validation rules. By using validation rules. With the help of validation rules also, we can able to make the field required. Next one, by using triggers. With the help of triggers also, we can able to make the field required. That means we can make the field mandatory also. The facility is available, okay, with the help of this triggers. Next, fifth one, by using Visualforce pages. By using Visualforce pages also, we can make that field required. That means we can make that column mandatory also. That facility is available. So in this case, whenever we are going to be attending the interviews, this is a common question in every interview. How many ways are available in Salesforce to make a field required? It's a common question. How many ways are there in Salesforce to make a field required? So in order to make a field required, we have 5 ways are available in Salesforce. First one is by using required checkbox. Second one by using page layout customizations. Third one validation rules. Fourth one triggers, and the fifth one Visualforce pages. These are the 5 ways are available in Salesforce in order to make a field required. Okay, now. So now this is the next one, the 6th property. Unique property. That means unique checkbox. So what is the use of this property? This property is used to make that column value unique. That means in the column, same value you can
Firoz?